It feels like someone is trying to analyze what your next move is going to be before they make their offer. When I make my move, you're free to check the king. This feels like a game of chess. This person is trying to kind of understand the way that you think. Because they perceive you to be a very mystical and intuitive person. So you kind of leave them guessing quite a lot. Like, they never really know what your next move is going to be because you flow with it. And you just listen to whatever intuitive advice you're being given at any particular time. You're not playing one specific game. You're not showing up in one specific way. This person, they can't kind of put a label on you and say you're this type of person, so I need to treat you in this way. You are quite different to a lot of people that they have encountered before, and even though a part of them knows that they can't really pin you down for what you're going to do next, they'll be damned if they're not going to try and strategize a way forward. You know, they're going to at least try to uncover everything that they can about you, sort of go through your actions and the things that you've said with a fine-tooth comb and put together some sort of a plan that feels to them very well thought out, kind of wanting to make you an offer that you can't refuse in some way. What can they put together that you literally cannot turn down? What can they put together that you literally cannot afford to refuse? Let's continue. Let us continue. That's the Ten of Cups. Oh, fine. This is how this person deals with not immediately getting what they want. They throw all their toys, or in our case, cards, out the pram. I'm going to put these all back away now, but what I'm looking at is like a Four of Wands and a Nine of Swords. And then here I'm looking at a Ten of Cups and a Four of Cups. These kind of seem like very similar energies, because we're talking on one side about like the emotional fulfillment side of things, but then we're kind of like immediately contrasted by this sense of, you know, but it's not happening for me and I don't understand why. So we've got with the Ten of Cups, you know, the desired future and the desired outcome, and, you know, I want a chance at this beautiful kind of amazing emotional harmony with you. I want to us to understand each other, and I want this to be like a long-lasting connection situation that we have. I want us to kind of move forward into the future knowing that like we feel like we're part of a team together, and that everything is, you know, exactly where it kind of should be. But they feel very annoyed that that is not the way that things are right now. They feel very, very annoyed that it's more kind of like, instead of annoyance, it is a bit of annoyance, but it also is this sense of, fuck's sake, why does nothing ever work out for me? I'm so bored of this shit. Like, all I want is to kind of have this future, have this sort of, I want my plans for my future to come true. I want to do the things that my soul has always desired doing. I want to live the lifestyle that my heart has always wanted to live. Why is it so fucking hard? Why are you making this hard? And with that kind of Four of Wands and that Nine of Swords coming out as well, it's like someone wants freedom from the intensity of their own mind, and they think that they can find that freedom in maybe like a future with you. They think that they can find that freedom in you somehow. But at this point, let me remind you that it's not your job to save anyone else from their own mind. This person, like, they are like painfully Ace of Swords in the bottom of the deck. This person is like painfully logical, right? Probably a little bit of an overthinker at times. But they want the breakthrough, they want the answer, they want to understand where you're coming from. Well, actually, interestingly, it's kind of less about understanding where you're coming from now and more about them wanting to kind of throw everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. So even though they are a very strategic person and they're trying to be logical about this, in some way their approach is completely illogical, because it would actually make a lot more sense. Instead of them kind of like trying to strategize and plan ways of getting to you in their head, they could access their heart and their compassion a little bit more. They could have a conversation with you and connect with you and ask you what you want. That could happen, but no, this person is playing around the houses. This person is wanting to figure it out for them. So, I think that this person probably is quite a problem solver. If you give them like a problem to solve, they won't stop until they've solved it. It's kind of giving like hound energy. Working dog energy. Yeah, they have a problem that they can't just allow things just to be. With the Chariot and the Devil here, I'm actually seeing their desperation to constantly be pushing things forward, as a bit of a character flaw for them. Not a character flaw, maybe that's harsh. Something that's out of balance within them. So that we kind of all have the bits that we like to show other people and the bits that we like to keep private, in terms of our personalities. We have the yin and the yang, we have the light and the shadow. Their shadow is dominating when they are in this energy of needing to have all the answers right now, needing to figure this situation out at any cost. This person can't sit still. They can't sit still and just kind of accept the situation for what it is. They can't let things flow in the same way that you do. You being so intuitive, you listening to what your gut is telling you, you don't necessarily have these kind of like very strict rules, I guess, that you live by in the same way that they do. You're a little bit more free to roam than they are, and you can enjoy the present moment and connect in with stuff around you a little bit more as it's happening, not needing to kind of know how everything is going to work out, which is ironic because you're watching a tarot reading probably about how things are going to work out here, but maybe this is just a momentary lapse for you. Yeah, this person's need to constantly push forward and to know what's going on is holding them back, and is with the Eight of Swords, it's something they get so in their head about, like, why don't I know this? Why can't I do this? Why can't I just have this thing in my life? Why can't I have this person in my life? I think that you sort of need to keep in your own lane. Queen of Wands in reverse. I think you need to kind of keep in your own lane a little bit while they're figuring this out, because with the Death card here, they're trying to go through a transition. It could be a woman that we're talking about. It really doesn't have to be, but it could be. Libra is, I don't know, for some reason coming up quite strongly for me. feels like they're not in a good place right now. They're kind of clinging on to a lot of uncertainty, and the most generous thing that you could do for them right now with the Six of Coins is just to let them be while they work through this, and not engage in any like checking up or checking in behaviors too heavily, to not kind of like play into anything that they're saying that kind of like really sounds like they're just being a bit neurotic or maybe seeking control of a situation. You sort of just need to let them kind of work through this in their own time, and maybe kind of things will work out eventually. But yeah, how interesting. Anyway, I'll leave that there. Wish you all the best. See you soon. Book reading by my bio.